Hi everyone, this is David and welcome to this video entitled How to Finally Get Unstuck in Your Life by Reprogramming Your Subconscious. Now, I'm really glad you made it here and I'm really excited for you because we got some super great practical information for you here. You are going to learn how to free your subconscious without fighting yourself, without struggling with yourself, without becoming a slave to overworking, to debt, or to social expectations. And you will succeed. You will definitely succeed, even if you have tried everything else in the past and all that didn't work as well as you would have liked to. This time around, things are finally going to work out. Sounds good? Now, to help us learn, we shall follow Melissa's story. And in this journey, we shall come to discover that we have been lied to for 6,000 years. We have all been born into a cultural story. All of us are born into a story. We're born into a life that already has a predetermined story. And this cultural story drums a particular subconscious map of reality into us. Now, the problem is, this subconscious map of reality that we receive upon birth and that is cultured into us as we grow up, this map is broken. And that is why we get stuck. That is why we seem to sabotage ourselves. That is why we struggle to make ends meet and to make things happen. So it's not your fault, guys. It's not your fault. It's not our fault. It's the subconscious map of reality that is broken. Now, just to clarify this point, imagine for a second, if you will, that someone dropped you in Tokyo, in Japan, Tokyo, and you've never been there before and you don't speak Japanese. And they just dropped you on the street. Okay, just in the middle of some street somewhere, literally on the street. Then they gave you a map of Timbuktu instead of giving you a map of Tokyo. They give you a map of Timbuktu. And then they told you that that map is the right map, that it's accurate and correct. In other words, they lied to you and told you that the map of Timbuktu actually is the map of Tokyo. And then they told you to use that map to find your way to your hotel. Remember, you're on the streets, right? You need to find your hotel to sleep. And you need to go find food. And you need to do so many other things and finally get to an airport and then go back home. Okay? And they gave you that map and that's all you've got. Now, guess what would happen, guys? Guess what would happen if you try to use the map of Timbuktu in Tokyo? It's a no-brainer, right? You'd be so lost, it wouldn't even be funny. And that is the problem we face today. We have been conditioned, we have been programmed in a certain particular way that is broken. Our subconscious map of reality is inaccurate. It doesn't reflect the nature, the true nature of how life works, as you shall soon see. Now, here in this video, we shall clarify all that, and then we're going to get the right subconscious map of reality. And then that's going to allow us to get everything fixed. It's going to allow us to get unstuck, finally. And we're going to find freedom through that. Sounds good? Okay, so now let's follow Melissa. Melissa is a 44-year-old single mother of two. She's a remarkable certified nurse. She's employed at her local hospital. Now, on the side, to make ends meet and to chase her dreams, Melissa also works as a network marketing distributor for some health products. Now, Melissa is a most brilliant nurse. She dearly loves her job. She saves lives, and of course she saves hearts. You know, her patients love her. They adore her. So at work, Melissa is a superhero. Yet her personal world is quite often frighteningly shaky. And sometimes, sadly, it is anxiously crumbling. Melissa, you see, struggles with some things. And if you could somehow listen in on her private thoughts, you know, the self-talk that goes through her mind when she's talking to herself in her own privacy, you could hear her say things like this to herself. Why do I lack faith in myself? I wish I had more faith in myself. Why am I plagued with self-doubt and poor self-esteem? No matter what I do, I mean, I'm a brilliant nurse, but I still don't feel that worthy, you know? I wish I could trust life as well. I wish I could trust life as much as I'd love to, but I can't. I'm scared of it quite often. And then why am I haunted by these limiting beliefs, these nasty fears. They plague my mind, especially around money. I'm always wondering whether I'm going to make the next bill or whatever, and if I can look after my kids properly and all that sort of stuff. I wish I could turn off the many negative voices in my head. I wish I could just turn them off. I wish I could silence them, but they can't. They can't seem to stop. I can't seem to stop them. And then it really pains me to see my planet Earth, my home, being destroyed, being polluted, and I can't seem to be able to do something about it. And then I'm ready to live a life of true abundance in all areas of my life, and I want to give my kids the life that they've always wanted. But it's taking forever. No matter what I do, it just seems to be taking forever. And sometimes I doubt whether I'll ever make it. Will I ever make it? Will I ever make it on time? While I'm still quite young enough to enjoy it. And then why can I seem to shake off the insidious belief and that nasty feeling that I am unworthy of freedom and that I don't deserve to have a comfortable and desirable lifestyle? Freedom, comfort, breathing space, flourish. Why can't I believe that I deserve that and that can be there for me? And then sometimes I just sit back, and when I'm exhausted and I'm just, I don't know, almost to the limit, I just think there's got to be more to life than this. Something's wrong. There's got to be more to life than this. So yeah, those are the kind of thoughts that run through Melissa's head every single day for years and years. And it's sad, isn't it? And the news of the world around her, when she turns on her TV or looks at the newspaper or magazines or whatever, the news always seems to be negative. It's like the media wish her to stay scared, always tense, never truly relaxed, and in a state of bliss, love, connectedness. And it's not her fault. Melissa definitely tries to fix all this. Sometimes Melissa feels like she's been a student of personal growth forever. She's tried just about everything from A to Z, from affirmations to Zen. They all have helped a bit here and there, yet nothing has completely propelled her forward once and for all into freedom. Melissa seems to get stuck and stay stuck. Frustratingly, freedom seems elusive. It's like an invisible weight and chains seem to enslave her, and she longs for the day that she will cut that bind off for good. Meanwhile, her friend Josh is in a similar bind. He feels manipulated by life, and even his own brain seems programmed and conditioned to fight him, and all they want to know now, all they want is to get some answers. What the F is going on? What does it take? What's wrong? What's missing? Well, if you can see where Melissa and Josh are coming from, if their struggles make sense to you and you have similar ones, then here is the answer you've been waiting for, finally. Well, just a second. Before we talk of an answer, allow me to quickly introduce myself so that you know if and why I'm qualified to share this information with you. My name is David Cameron Gikandi. In terms of official qualifications, I hold a Bachelor of Science in International Business, and that's from the US, and I have an MSc in Information Technology from Australia. I was born and raised in Kenya, but I've had the privilege of seeing about 30 countries and being involved in many businesses that I started either alone or with partners. Everything from import-export to real estate to publishing to software development. And from this wide variety of exposure and from my very humble beginnings in Kenya, especially from that, I became a leading self-taught mind, body, spirit researcher. A very good one, actually, who has spent 17 years researching the subconscious, spirituality, and metaphysics. I am infinitely curious as to what drives people to experience the lives that they do and get the results that they get. Now, I was also the creative consultant on the hit movie The Secret. If you haven't heard of it, it went on to be viewed by about 28 million people worldwide and was featured on Oprah and Larry King and many other places. That movie really helped millions of people move forward in their lives. And here today, I got some extra good news. Today and going forward, we shall complete the picture that was started in that movie. The concepts that were featured in that movie, we shall fill in any missing gaps. Sounds good? Now, I'm also the author of the best-selling book, A Happy Pocket Full of Money. As you can see here, from the Amazon.com screenshot, it has a near perfect review there, and also on Goodreads and Barnes & Noble and so on. And in fact, it has been translated into multiple languages, including Chinese, Korean, Russian, Spanish, Italian, French, Hebrew, German, and more. It actually has readers from over 172 countries around the globe. Now, a quick word about my background. Like I said, I was born and raised in Kenya, which is a third world country in East Africa. And I was born like 3 years before the beginning of a very tough 24-year reign of a dictator president. In other words, this guy checked in when I was 3 years old, and he was a dictator for 24 years. That's up until I was 27 years old. And I gotta tell you, it was tough. It wasn't rosy. And growing up in that atmosphere of oppression and scarcity really did a nasty job on my subconscious conditioning, my programming. I mean, can you imagine what it's like growing up in a third world nation, led by a dictator for 24 years, with oppression, danger, and scarcity of even things that people take for granted out in the West? Nevertheless, I managed to, in quotes, escape the limiting conditioning and the restrictions. I managed to reprogram myself and to free myself and to go on and travel to over 30 countries around the world, including crossing the Arctic Circle via Finland, as you can see here on the picture on the bottom right. And so I'd like to emphasize here that I'm just like you. I'm a normal person with challenges. I'm not some kind of special person. And what that means to you is that what I'm about to show you in these videos will definitely work for you. Sounds good? Sounds fair enough for you? Okay, and just to show you further that I'm a normal person, there is a time when I did hit ground bottom. I survived going broke and being homeless, living on a friend's couch for a few months. And I gotta tell you, it was a very tough period. And it wasn't even about lack of money that was a problem. I mean, that was definitely a problem. But the bigger problem was there was so much panic and anxiety and raw fear that was running through me. But again, I turned that experience into a grand and powerful asset of many dimensions. And I was able to do that because of what I learned about the subconscious. The same stuff that I'll be showing you here now in these videos. So just in closing, we're closing this introduction. I just want to say one thing. I'm not a guru. Not at all. What I am is an excellent researcher, a consciousness hacker, a high knowledge exchange point, and a huge practical implementer. Those are my talents, just like everyone has their own talents. There's a whole bunch of things, that I'm not good at, and a lot of things that I can't even do. But these things I'm very good at. And that is what I can gift you with. But I'm not a guru. I'm just a normal person just like you. So what we are going to be learning here will most definitely work for you and get you unstuck in whatever area of life that you're facing challenges with, especially in the area of abundance. Okay, so now back to the answer. You see, like I said before, we have been lied to for 6,000 years. We have been given narratives, rules, and systems designed to deliberately corrupt our internal map of reality. The very map that we use to navigate and manifest our lives. Now, just so we are clear, a map of reality is just a fancy name for our self-view and our world view. The self-view and the world view are the bedrock, the foundations, the ground upon which all subconscious beliefs are built upon. The self-view deals with what you believe you are, and the world view deals with what you believe the world is. Now, very slowly, listen to that again. The self-view deals with what you believe you are. Not who you believe you are, what you believe you are. There's a big difference. And the worldview deals with what you believe the world is. Everybody has those two foundations. Every single human being has a self-view and a worldview. And this is the very core of the subconscious. The subconscious holds millions and millions of beliefs, but they all form a complete system. Most of them are tiny, tiny little beliefs like, I like salt or I hate salt, But the core is these two big ones. what you believe you are and what you believe the world is. And from this core, all the other beliefs form around this core, and they all form a complete picture. Okay, a unified whole. And that entire picture is supported once again by your self-view and your worldview, what you think you are and what you think the world is. Now, the sad thing is that 99% of people take their self-view and their worldview for granted. They assume that what they believe about themselves is true and that what they believe about the world is true. Now, let's play a quick game. Remember Melissa? She's a nurse, right? A woman, a human being. Maybe she also believes that she's not worthy of a good life, just like we saw from her private thoughts, that she's a victim of the economy, that she's powerless to affect the environment and so on. Now, all these form her self-view, what she thinks she is. Now, let us shake that foundation, okay? Melissa's foundation. Let's forget all the details and go straight to the idea that Melissa is a woman and, only human. Now, Melissa might never even have questioned that belief, yet the belief that she's only a woman may be preventing her from accessing so much more that is hers for the taking. It may be preventing her from acting in certain ways or questioning certain types of authorities, or maybe even asking for a raise so she gets paid on par with her male colleagues, because quite often the male colleagues get paid a bit more than the female ones. So this idea that she shouldn't, she's just a woman, quite a lot of people have that idea, that could be preventing her from accessing what is theirs for the asking, what is hers for the asking. The belief she's a woman, that is a self-view. Okay? Yes, she is female, but the belief that that is her identity, that already is a limitation. It's a filter. Okay? You could, Melissa could see that as an identity or as an aspect of what she is. And there's a big difference. And we'll get to that in shortly. So what about the belief that she's only human? That is an even bigger filter because it prevents her from using her inbuilt divine powers. Do you see how deep the map of reality goes now? And do you see how the self-view and the worldview are the foundations of the subconscious? Are you beginning to see this? What you think you are and what you think the world is, that, my friend, forms your map of reality. And if that is broken, it will mess up all your other efforts. Does that make sense? Okay, let's move on. I wish to progressively prove to you that we have been given narratives, rules, and systems that were designed to deliberately corrupt our internal map of reality, the very map that we use to navigate and manifest our lives. For you see, corrupting a population's map of reality results in that population forgetting who they are, what they're doing here, and what their purpose is. And it makes them feel lost, like victims of life instead of like powerful creators of reality. And this makes them become controllable, manipulable. And now we start to get a hint of who did this corruption and what their motive was. You see, you cannot control and manipulate someone who knows themselves as a sovereign and unlimited creator of their reality. You can't control them because they know they don't need you. They don't need to listen to you. So you must first make that person believe that they are powerless victims of life. And then when you do that, when they believe that, then you've got them by the balls. Okay? Now, the corruption of our map of reality was and is achieved using 3 core lies. These 3 core lies form a mental matrix that enslaves mankind. Okay? The 3 core lies are very simple, and indeed you will recognize them as follows. The first lie, which deals with the self-view. You, the first lie, says this: you are nothing but a biological skin bag, and if you have a soul, if you have a soul or a spirit, then it has little effect here on planet Earth in the physical reality, and it is something to possibly deal with only after death. The second lie deals with the world view. The world, this is what the second lie says, the world is unchallengeably solid, separated, disconnected, and purely mechanical. And the only way to get by in this physical world, mechanical world, is by using hard work and struggle to move the physical pieces around mechanically. Okay? So, the third lie says this: that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And if you think differently, we're going to ridicule you and find ways to persecute you, you know? Because you must toe the line like everyone else. You can't go believing in anything else, because that's just crazy talk. You gotta believe this. This is just the way it is. So these seemingly simple 3 core lies control and enslave the planet's population. They make all the other lies possible, and they keep us stuck. Keep watching and you'll see how and why. Now, back to Melissa. As a child, Melissa always wondered why everyone seemed to be living the same life, and why that life was so mind-numbingly basic and repetitively uninteresting. You know, she used to look at the adults, you know, as a child, she would look up at the adults and think, why are you doing the same stuff every day? And it's like, oh, you know. But growing up, this so-called, in quotes, normal life was drummed into her in pleasant and sometimes not so pleasant ways. So it was drummed into her until over the many years as she grew up, she actually became part of the very system that she was questioning. And then she had kids, and then she taught her kids to join the system. You see? Yet the truth is, none of this is our fault. It's not our fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's just that we were born into a culture that was programmed and conditioned in a certain way, and it passes this programming and conditioning on to every new generation. We are all born into a cultural story, a narrative that says, this is who you are and this is how the world works. And we will drum it into you until you lose your childhood curiosity and questioning. And so our minds become insidiously enslaved generation after generation. It happens so smoothly and so quietly. And you know, like a fish born into water, we don't even realize that we have been born into a matrix of lies that keeps us small and disempowered, in fear and controllable. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato once said that, I quote, "Those who tell the stories rule the world." And he was correct. Those who create the cultural narratives under which we are born into and conditioned and programmed by, those who create the stories and belief systems that we must buy into when we are born into this planet, those are the true rulers of the world. Those who say we need to use this currency and that religion and behave this way and feel that way, but not this way and not that way. Those who literally predetermine your self-view and your worldview even before you are born, so that when you get born, you automatically adopt that, not out of free choice, but because you got to, you know? And then they structure life so that you have to buy into that self-view and worldview so that you are accepted by society and so that you even survive. Those are the true rulers of the world. You see, the error that many people make is to confuse evolution with culture. Evolution happens, yes, we all know that, right? Over time, things change, things get innovated and all that sort of stuff, yeah? That's evolution. But our world is not 100% a result of evolution. You know, there's a lot that did not come here by evolution. It was, let's say, like injected here or created by someone or implemented and imparted upon a population. You know, for example, the particular form of money we use, money is fine, there's nothing wrong with money. But the centralized fractional banking system, that particular way of issuing currency, you know, there are so many ways to issue currency. There are so many different ways. But the centralized fractional banking system that we use today, we've seen how much it's failing. We've seen how much pain it's causing people. It is not the result of a natural evolution of mankind. Not at all. Instead, it is a deliberately designed system that is given to the people by a certain group. you will soon start to see that much of what you believe you are and what you believe the world is was scripted for you and programmed into you through a process of conditioning as you grew up, as we all grew up. So it's not your fault, it's not our fault. But now that we can see through the lies or through the structure, it then becomes our responsibility to investigate these things so that we can then free ourselves. There indeed was and is a manipulation done deliberately by certain groups that benefit from this. There is indeed a method to the madness and a villain in a hat, so to speak. Now, the most important thing to remember is that so long as the three core lies hold, so long as a person believes these three core lies, the problems, the psychology, the problems that we face in our lives, the psychology that we it kind of runs our lives, and the chaos that we experience and see will continue to be artificially maintained and sustained. So as long as these three core lies hold, these things will continue to be maintained and sustained. And the important thing to realize is that the natural state of humanity is bliss, love, connection. That's our natural state. Look at a child when it's born. It's blissful love, connection. It's only through this programming and conditioning that we lose that natural state. Okay? And so I'd like to suggest to you something here. We think that the world has insolvable problems that we're struggling with and we can't seem to solve. I'd like to suggest to you that these major problems that we face both individually, as you and I, and collectively as a planet, those problems already have solutions. It's already been solved. Yeah? They are already solved. We simply need to look differently. And once we drop these three core lies, we'll see through and we'll see the solutions. They are already there. They're already there. They're already done. We just need to change our perspective, drop the three core lies. You see, there is a strong concerted effort to dumb down the population and maintain it in a certain old system that works for those who benefit from us being stuck, okay? From us being controllable, from us, being part of the machinery. There are a small percentage of the planet, a very, very tiny small percentage of the planet that benefits from this, okay? And there is a strong concerted effort to keep that going. And it's done by structuring certain things in a certain way. Things like banking and the financial system, the media, what kind of news we get all the time, the military-industrial complex, the widespread use of hyper-sugared foods. We now know that this is keeping us dumb. That the overuse of sugar in everything, just about everything that we consume, it's crazy. Also the overuse of chemicals and pharmaceuticals that damage our psychology. Also the bad politics. These things are structured in a certain way to maintain this old system. And as long as those three core lies hold, then all sorts of tools are used against us, against you, against all of humanity to keep us stuck. And even at a personal level, even personally, now we were talking about the planet, but personally, your everyday life, personally, whatever it is you uniquely face, as long as those three core lies hold, it becomes extremely difficult to personally get unstuck from the thousands of years of conditioning that has run for generations, inherited, down the line. Simple negative beliefs that keep us stuck in suffering, senselessly. Now, all those would drop, even at a personal level, once these three core lies drop. So, this is a solution for us individually, but also globally as a planet. And so, given all that we now know, there is only one logical way out, at least from my perspective. There may be many others, but from my perspective, believing the lies is the reason why we stay stuck, and that is the secret. Once you drop the lies in your personal life, the problems drop automatically, and so it is up to us to perform a reset on our map of reality, on your map of reality, your subconscious map of reality. Hit the reset button on your self-view and on your worldview, yeah? On what you believe that you are and what you believe that the world is. And voila! You start to see things differently, and you start to attain liberation and empowerment in all areas of your life. It is time for the greatest secret that has been kept from you to be revealed, and that is the secret of your own divinity and your world's quantum multidimensional nature. And once you know this secret, you will recognize how much more exciting and blissful your life can be than the scraps that are presented before you. You are told more and more that you have no option, that your governments are in control, that only the people with money, the big money, we're talking about the super big money, only those people are in charge. And that power is a thing for the elite, the small little elites, you know. Now, these falsehoods will die away very quickly once you claim your divine heritage, once you recognize your quantum world for what it is, you know, behind the smoke and mirrors. Now, I have to warn you, be prepared for this process to be maligned, you know, to be discredited and undermined by those who wish to profit from your misfortunes, from your staying stuck. Of course, that's to be expected, right? But have no fear. Have no fear. Okay? The time for that paradigm is coming to an end. Simply love yourself, love life, and follow the process that we're going to be talking about here. You are free, my friend. Your vessels are capable of so much more than you know. Your body itself is capable of so much more than you can imagine. I mean, if we were to list what it's capable of, and not what we've been told, I'm talking beyond that. What it's capable of is so amazing that the first time you hear it, you're just gonna think this is all just, you know, fairy tale stuff. But I encourage you to test everything that you're gonna learn from here on forward. You know, don't just dismiss it. Test it out. Test it out in your own life, you know. Test what we study here together, and do not settle for anything less than your own magnificence. Test it. Yeah? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, fine. It's okay, you know. So, be ready, my friend. Your time has finally come. Now, I can appreciate that you may have reservations or objections, and you know, I do welcome you to please voice them in the comment section below so that I can respond, and you know, other people can respond, you know, the general public. You know, it's always nice to have an open, healthy discussion. Yet, for now, I would like to answer the question of what makes this particular approach that we're getting into together, you and I, what makes it any different from everything else that you've tried. Now, as you know, most of us have tried a whole bunch of things. We've tried, you know, to fix those tough parts in our lives using a whole bunch of different things. Yet, we might still be stuck, right? You know what I mean? Most of us have a few simple things, 1, 2, 3, 5 things that give us hell. You know, they keep us stuck no matter how hard we try, how many years we battle, how many different things we attempt, you know. If you're like many of us, you may have tried, you know, for these few things that, you know, keep you stuck. You may have tried prayer, meditation, hypnosis, therapy, affirmations, auditing, family constellations, law of attraction, lots of books and audios, journaling, visualization, time management, goal setting, pranic healing, vision boards, subliminal tapes, tapping, Reiki, motivational speakers, podcasts, counseling, chakra reading, emotional release, retreats, webinars, yoga, mastermind groups, conference call, binaural beats, mentoring, coaching, EFT, NLP, WTF, you know, and so on. Yet, for some reason, in some areas, we're still stuck in those few little things, right? And it drives us mad with frustration and pain. So the question is, why? Why are we still stuck in those areas? Why is that happening? Well, the reason is simple. It is because, again, of our subconscious map of reality. The subconscious map of reality is what you use to navigate and manifest your world. There is nothing wrong with all these things that we have been trying. All of them are fine. They're actually very, very good and helpful. You know, and it's not your fault either. The problem is, as long as the subconscious map of reality stays old and outdated, anything that you try within it is bound to fail at some level. What I mean by that is that as long as you believe that you are nothing but a little biological skin bag separated from everything else and victimized by life, then anything that you try while still holding on to that self-view is bound to be limited by that self-view. Make sense? And as long as you believe that the world is unchallengeably solid, separated, disconnected, and purely mechanical, and that the only way to get by is using hard work and struggle to move the physical pieces around, mechanically, then anything that you try while still holding on to that worldview is bound to be limited by that worldview. Make sense? So these things are failing and we are remaining stuck because we are holding, or rather we are doing them from within our old conditioning, from within our old programming, from within our old outdated subconscious map of reality. Remember, the subconscious is composed of two key concepts, your self-view and your worldview, meaning what you believe you are and what you believe the world is. And again, I just want to stress this. The self-view is not who you believe you are, it's what you believe you are. Big difference, right? So anyways, that's the foundation. And you have to fix the foundation before you can effectively use tools like prayer, meditation, affirmations, and so on. These are cool tools, nothing wrong with them. They're great. For example, in the area of finances, many of us learn about visualization and the law of attraction and affirmations, and we try to use those tools to improve our financial condition. So it works sometimes, and then sometimes it seems to fail us. And when it does, we feel miserable. And we wonder why the law of attraction is not working for us, why visualization is not working for us. Then we realize that we have negative beliefs around money, and then we try to use affirmations to try and fix that. And again, the results fall short, sometimes. Yet it never occurs to us that all that time, we were holding on to an old subconscious map of reality that told us that we are separate small biological creatures living in a solid mechanical world. Had we changed that self-view and worldview, the negative beliefs would automatically have fallen off, and the law of attraction would instantly and clearly manifest the freedom and empowerment that we called forth. It would be as effortless and as simple as that. No struggle. And so the key difference with what we are learning here going forward and whatever else you may have seen in the past is that we are going to the foundations of the subconscious first and foremost. We're not interested in tricks and tactics right now. We're not interested in any of that stuff until we fix the foundations. Tricks and tactics are almost useless if the foundations are not strong, okay? Here, we are going to sort out the foundations, strengthen them, make them divinely strong beyond belief. And that, my friend, is the game changer that is in store for you. How does that sound? Sounds good, right? Yes? Now, we've come to the end of this particular video. In the next video that you will receive in, I believe, a couple of days, we shall look at the new map of reality that works wonders for you. One that gives you a self-view and a worldview that empowers you instead of hindering you. In that video, we shall take the astonishingly liberating and empowering viewpoint of looking at life as a game that spirit plays. Literally a game. Yeah? We shall dive into the game of life. And you won't want to miss this one, my friend. It's literally a game changer. It is the breaking away of the old way of seeing life, the old model that wasn't working. This will change your life because it will change how you see yourself and how you see your world. It is a very powerfully liberating perspective. And it finally answers the three big questions. What are we, or who are we? What are we doing here? What is our purpose? So keep your eyes on your inbox, your email, and look out for the Game of Life email. The game of life, by the way, is like a dream, whereby you are a being within the dream, and you are also the dreamer of that dream. That is probably one of the most exciting things that you have ever heard or seen in years. I bet when you see this, you're just gonna I don't know, goosebumps, and just the excitement and the energy you're gonna get out of this is just amazing, right? The game of life is like a dream whereby you are a being within the dream, the human being, and you are also the dreamer of that dream, the non-physical part of you. So keep an eye out on your email inbox, and you'll get the link once that video is available for you. Great. So I hope you enjoyed that. I personally did thoroughly, and I would very much love to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, and any other feedback on what you have seen so far. So please go ahead and type something out in the comment section below, and that would be most appreciated. So do take a couple of minutes and share your thoughts with us down below. Thank you very much. I would also like to leave you with a sneak peek into the subconscious revealed and reprogrammed. What you're about to watch is the introduction, and it's gonna run for about 6 minutes. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it, and please remember to leave your comments below. That would be absolutely lovely. Thanks again, and talk soon. Bye bye.
Welcome to the Subconscious Revealed, a brand new, fresh, and unprecedented exploration at the lives we live, where we peek into the engines that run the universe and humanity and master the game of life. In this series, we see how the universe is actually designed as a game that spirit plays. It is called the Polarity Integration Game, and it is played throughout the universe since the beginning of the universe. You and I are only the latest installment of this game. You see this game at play in your life at every moment. You just may not have thought of it in that way. Think about it. Your life is full of polarities, dualities such as love or hate, good or bad, positive or negative, yin or yang, male or female, rich or poor, fat or thin, on or off, hungry or satisfied, all those gazillion other wonderful contrasts that fill every corner of our lives at every single moment. Polarity integration goes by many names, such as unconditional love, forgiveness, and dropping judgment. This video series is the missing manual that you'll wish your parents gave to you many years ago to save you all the fear, scarcities, troubles, and confusion that may have occupied your life. The past 8,000 years of humanity's history were relatively calm, but today's world is full of unprecedented chaotic changes in our economic and social structures, coupled with massive technological and spiritual advances. This missing manual could not have come at a better time. And now, you have it, finally. Let's examine what you shall discover in this missing manual. The game pieces, artifacts, and objects. Unravel the hidden magical quantum energy that the subconscious uses to create your reality 50 billion times per second. When you change your subconscious, your life changes precisely because of this energy. The game rules of interaction. Go deeper than ever before into the world of beliefs and thoughts, consciousness and the ego, and finally begin to see through the magic trick that the subconscious plays on us. The game player's hardware. Solve the mystery of how our body's energy system, emotions, and chakras really work to create our reality from our subconscious. The game player's software. Discover the multi-dimensional divine portion of your DNA and see how your Akashic and karmic engines have always driven your life. Discover the hidden kingdom of miraculous subconscious powers that resides within you. The game player's team. See the larger structure of your subconscious, which is bigger than we thought. It includes human consciousness, the innate, the higher self, our guides, the soul, and Gaia, the planet herself. The game center. Our planet Earth gives us our life support, the game's initial boundary conditions, and the arena for social gameplay. Uncover the hidden systems that make Earth a conscious entity called Gaia. See the systems that your subconscious plugs into in Gaia and how that enables you to literally change the world and vice versa. The game's current level challenges. Take a rare insider's glimpse into exactly why there is so much fear and scarcity on Earth, and exactly what you can do to convert Earth into an abundant, peaceful, ascended planet. The game centers myths and bugs. Burst some limiting beliefs that prevent you from accessing the true, magnificent extent and power of your subconscious by gaining a new understanding of humanity's history on this planet in an expanded way that will expand your appreciation of yourself and free you from several major belief level limitations. The game space. Deepen your mastery of your subconscious by investigating the design and purpose of our planet, our galaxy, and our universe, and hence your own life purpose. Explore how the polarity integration game of life works, and start to make sense of the crazy chaos we see in our personal lives and on the planet. The game's next level participants. Your subconscious is actually a unique piece of a jigsaw puzzle that is the entire universe. Explore the possibility that your subconscious is infinite and may have a universal and galactic origin and history that affects you today. Explore the next stage of humanity as an active participant in the greater cosmos. The next stage is coming soon. Who shall we find there? The game players are also its makers. Recognize your subconscious as part of source energy. Understand why you are pieces of and extensions of the Creator, and investigate how creation works and what it has to do with the polarity integration game. Discover how it can be that on this side of the veil you are human, but on the other side of the veil you are a multi-dimensional soul. The game's goal is to gain enlightenment and ascension by successfully bringing polarities and dualities together and integrating them, transcending them, otherwise known as forgiveness and unconditional love of yourself and others, the healing of the illusion of separation. This fresh new perspective of our lives can bring us an unprecedented level of clarity, mastery, meaning, and purpose to our lives. It will help you get unstuck. It will help you to see through the magic tricks that the subconscious plays on you. As Pythagoras of ancient Greece once said, "Know thyself, and ye shall know the universe and the gods." You'll be amazed how quickly your life will unfold once you begin unraveling what is inside you. I guarantee that you will not walk out of this video series the same way you came in. But first, a quick disclaimer. What you are about to watch is not a new religion, cult, or faith. We do not claim it is the only truth. Instead, it is the result of years of painstaking research into the nature of reality. It is a framework that will help you find your own truths, higher truths, that vastly and immensely liberate and empower you, that will help you drop limiting conditioning and beliefs. Welcome to the Missing Polarity Integration Game Manual. Will we win the game and enjoy an ascended, abundant, and peaceful planet with awesome personal lives? Or will we lose the game, destroy our planet, and make our personal lives harder? It is up to you and I. The clock is ticking.